The question that's reverberated through the ages, are we, humans, though imperfect, essentially kind and good-natured creatures? Or deep down are we wired to be bad, blinkered, idle, vain, vengeful, and selfish? Most of us think of ourselves as good people, but that's not really the truth of human nature, because a lot of just plain nasty behavior is on display around the world. Besides, experiments examining the dark side of human behavior are on the rise. Keep watching this video if you want to know some of the dark sides of humanity. In one experiment carried out by economists Klaus Ebbing and Benedict Herman, individuals are given endowments, and each individual is given the opportunity to destroy the endowments of the other participants, but they have to pay something for this opportunity. In one scenario, participants can destroy another person's endowment anonymously, and the subject on the receiving end of their nastiness cannot identify them. In this case, about 25% of participants destroy the endowments of other people. In another scenario, participants can destroy another person's endowment, but their identity is known. In this case, about 10% of participants destroyed other people's endowments. What flies in the face of conventional economic wisdom is that people are willing to self-sacrifice, such as reduce their wealth just for the privilege of causing harm to others. The relatively destructive people are those who expect that other people will behave in a nasty way to them. In other words, that there will be reciprocal nastiness. Those who don't take advantage of the opportunity to be mean tend not to expect others to be destructive either. So, the experimental evidence suggests that some people can be expected to be nasty even at a cost to themselves, especially if they can hide their identity. But even in the nasty experiments, the majority of people choose not to be destructive to others, even if they can easily get away with it. Maybe if we spent a little more time in contemplation, we would not be so unable or unwilling to understand other people. Sadly, for many of us, it seems the prospect of spending time in our thoughts is so anathema we would rather electrocute ourselves. This was demonstrated dramatically in a study in which 67% of male participants and 25% of female participants opted to give themselves unpleasant electric shocks, rather than spend 15 minutes in peaceful contemplation. Although others questioned the interpretation of the results, at least one other study has shown people's preference for electrocuting themselves over monotony, and another found cross-cultural evidence for people's greater enjoyment of doing some activity alone rather than merely thinking. The main idea of these findings would seem to back up the verdict. All of man's troubles come from his inability to sit quietly in a room by himself. Not only do we tend to overestimate our virtuousness, but we are also inclined to moral hypocrisy. Findings in this area suggest it may pay to be wary of those who are the quickest and loudest in condemning the moral failings of others. The chances are the moral preacher is the guilty themselves, but of course, they happen to take a far lighter view of their transgressions. In one study, researchers found that people rated the exact same selfish behavior, giving oneself the quicker and easier of two experimental tasks on offer, as far less fair when perpetuated by others than by themselves. Similarly, there is a long-studied phenomenon known as actor-observer asymmetry, which in part describes our tendency to attribute other people's bad deeds, such as our partner's infidelities, to their characters, while attributing the same deeds performed by ourselves as due to situational influences. These self-serving double standards could even explain the common feeling that incivility is on the increase. Research also showed how we view the same acts of rudeness far more harshly when they are committed by strangers than by our friends or ourselves. Unfortunately, social media may be magnifying some of the worst aspects of human nature, no doubt in part due to the online disinhibition effect, and the fact that anonymity, easy to achieve online, is known to increase our inclinations for immorality, while research has suggested that people who are prone to everyday sadism, which is a worryingly high proportion of us, are especially inclined to online trolling. A study reviewed how being in a bad mood and being exposed to trolling by others, together with double the likelihood of a person engaging in trolling. These situational factors were a stronger predictor of a person's trolling behavior than their traits, leading the researchers to conclude that ordinary users will also troll when the mood and discussion context prompt such behavior. Of course, this implies that initial trolling by a few can cause a snowball of increasing negativity, which is exactly what the researchers found the proportion of flag posts, and the proportion of users with flag posts are rising over time. Evidence suggests that men and women are sexually attracted, at least in the short term, to people displaying the so-called dark triad of traits, narcissism and psychopathy. It is found women's physical attraction to a man was increased when he was described as having dark traits, as self-interested, manipulative, and insensitive, compared with being described in the same way in terms of his interests and so on, but with reference to the dark traits removed. One theory is that the dark traits successfully communicate mate quality in terms of confidence and a willingness to take risks. Does this matter for the future of our species? Perhaps it does, because it is also found that those women who were more strongly attracted to narcissistic men's faces tended to have more children. Shocked? Don't get too down, because these findings say nothing of the success some of our heroes, heroines, and saints have had in overcoming their baser instincts. It is arguably by acknowledging and understanding our shortcomings that we can more successfully overcome them, and so cultivate the better angels of our nature. That's pretty much it for today. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have anything to say, leave a message in the comment section below. Thank you for your time, have a great day, see you next time.